Alright, everybody out there in the Craft Chest Nation, first of all, if you see a little bit of graininess and low light going on here, that's because it is. It kind of feels good in here with the lighting the way it is, and I don't feel like turning on a bunch of lights in the background just to make it a little bit brighter. And besides that, it's hard to keep this under 10 minutes. This is going to be my third attempt to try to keep this under 10 minutes, and now I can see why T2 is using Blip TV, because you can just render a video or edit a video, upload it, and it really doesn't matter how long it is. And actually, I have a Blip TV channel that I recently resurrected and updated, and might start using that for some of these longer videos, and I'll have you guys go over there and watch it. And now I can see why he does it, just because of that. And you don't have to worry about a bunch of issues that you have to worry about here on YouTube these days. But this video right here, I want to try to keep this about a two-parter. If not, I apologize if it goes on longer than that. But we're going to talk about my continuing frustration as far as MMOs are concerned. And I have tried several of them out there that you guys have mentioned to me, and some of the ones that I've actually come across on MMOhub.com, I believe it is, such as Jade Dynasty and Two Moon. I remember that game. I went and tried it out. Got a LODs online today and played it for about 4 hours. I've played Kairos and told you what I thought about it. And, you know, one thing that I've found in playing a lot of these newer ones, and some of the ones that have been around for a little while, is it's just more of the same. And I know I mentioned this in an earlier video, but I just can't find a rescue from the boredom that I see and have in these games that I've been playing. And maybe I'm just playing the wrong ones. You know, I might have to go try out that Dungeons and Dragons online thing that people's talking about these days, or the ever-dreaded, I'm not even going to say that name. I wouldn't even do that. But anyway, here's what my frustration is as far as MMOs are concerned. You know, you go and you read all the lore and you read all the press and see all the epic video trailers and all this to these games, and how the story is just so cataclysmic, and they need the heroes, and this is what's left, and you came from this faction, and this is your history, and you're able to do these things. And then you go and you actually start the game, and it's just more of the same. You go talk to Mala over here. No, it's Diablo, but you know, I'm just going to use names that I know, I guess. You go talk to Mala, and she says she needs some smelly fingernails. So you go out and you kill these creatures, usually being either some type of cat or wolf, because people love putting wolves in MMOs these days for some reason. I don't know what the wolves ever did to you. They're just roaming around out there. But you go out there and you kill this creature, and you bring back these smelly fingernails. And then they say, well, you need to go talk to Ikbar over here, and he has a mission for you. And then you go do that. And then Ikbar tells you, go talk to such and such sends you on another mission. And then you get lost in the questing and forget all about the thing, or the one thing that brought you to the game was the epic plot and storyline, which is really non-existent these days in a lot of the MMOs that have come out. Now, I know there's differences between MMOs and MMORPGs, but even the ones that say they're MMORPGs are lying through their teeth, because there's no storyline. There's no plot. All you're doing is you're questing, grinding, leveling. You have set items that drop. You know, your first armor, second armor, or however they want to term it. All of them, you know, different name, more of the same is the way I like to verb it out there to you about the armors. It's not any randomly generated type of system that games have these days. And that right there in itself is a frustration, because everybody out there is running around with the same exact gear. And, you know, if you have a level 44, for example, in Kairos, they're going to kick the shit out of somebody that's level 10 or level 25 even, because not only do they have, you know, 3 grades higher armor, but then they can actually convert it into the ultimate armor, which is PK gear. And, you know, I know they can screw up their skill points and maybe not build it correctly, but most people out there that are going to do that type of grind are going to research it and get it right. You know, and that's the other big frustration in itself, is the PvP system in a lot of these games, where you're just running out there in the field, you're trying to do your quest, and then lo and behold, somebody comes up and smacks you and is able to one-shot you. There you are at level 13 nothing with your little crappy gear that you got, and you get one-shotted by a level 30. to steal some type of item, whether it be an item or essence, or in Kairos it's essence. That's why they love to kill you. And there's no type of streamlined PvP system. At least that's something that I've noticed that a lot of online got correct, is they have PK server and they have PK arenas, which is kind of like WoW. WoW has PK servers and they have arenas. And, I like that, because at least you can go out there and do your quest and mind your business. But that's really all you're really doing, because, like I said before, the story gets lost in the questing. And then once you get from one town, you might venture off into another town, and another town, and another town. And in between all that, all you're doing is collecting all these randomly, or not even random, these little storyline, I guess, scripted quests that everybody has to do. And it's just more of the same. Whereas, let's step back to the 90s, where Blizzard came out with Diablo 2 and Diablo 2, the expansion Lord of Destruction, and they had Battle.net, and the way that's set up, they got it right. And that's why a lot of people out there wonder why I play Diablo 2 so much. That's why. At least I know I can go online, hop on Battle.net. You got your list of trade games, bail runs, different games that you might want to do. Yes, it's more of the same, and yes, it's the same grind over and over again, but they have randomly generated gear. If I want to go make a private game, I don't have to worry about being PK'd. I can password my games. I can invite friends that I know, people that I've met. That is what they got right, and you don't see that anymore with games. You have servers you jump on, and it's just one big cluster. Charlie Foxtrot. That's all it is. And continuing to refer to Diablo a little bit, whenever you do go magic finding and you do go questing, you find randomly generated items. You can find, infinite amounts of rare rings. You have, you set uniques, from your regular elites all the way to your regular uniques up to your elite uniques. And, you have your runes, and you have your gems, and you have your upgrade systems. You have the Herodric Cube, for crying out loud. You can do anything with that, just about. Reroll scrolls, and that's something else that you don't see. Or not reroll scrolls, reroll your charms. That's something else you don't see in a lot of games these days that claim to be, the best of the best. You don't have charms. I know some of them out there do. I run across a couple here recently that have little charms that do whatever, but you're not able to re-roll them and maybe get a bail drop grand charm and able to turn it into a skiller lifer, which I know you probably do that on any of them, but it's the highest level, randomly generated charm out there. And, once you do have it, the cap's higher. And you guys know what I'm talking about. But, it's just that right there is what makes it a game to continually want to go back to, because of, the infinite amounts of things you can do with characters. And the newer MMORPGs, everything is so scripted and everything is so grindy, to where there's no storyline. Going back to Diablo, there is a storyline and there is an ending. And once you get all the way through Hell level and you kill Baal in Hell level, at least you accomplished a goal. And the newer, coming back to the fast forward to the future here, or to the present here, we talk about the MMOs, where I don't see any endings to these games. You're just continually going on these little silly missions over and over again. You see where I'm coming from with this? And it's that type of thing that makes it so boring. And that's why people like myself and like the other, classic old school gamers out there like to go back to the classics, like the ones that come out recently since 07, 08, like Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2, which Left 4 Dead 2 sucked. Really, enjoyable if you got a couple of guys out there, to play with, but Left 4 Dead, Left 4 Dead 2. I'm not going to leave Left 4 Dead 2 off of it because I was disappointed. And your Trackmanias, and your Counter-Strike, and your Gary's Mod, and your Pirates, Vikings, and Knights, and all those games that like Tribes, capture the flag type of games, killing up, shoot 'em up zombies and all that. And it's fast-paced and it's exciting. And the MMOs are just slow and sluggish, and I don't even know. There's no words to really describe what I'm talking about, but you get the idea of where I'm coming from. I can't be the only one. Alright, so I'm going to show you a little bit of what I'm talking about as far as the same old, and I'm going to load a little bit of Kairos and a little bit of Alad, since that's the two most recent ones that I've tried other than Jade Dynasty and Two Moon, and I forget what the other one is. I actually deleted it because I couldn't even really get past the first 15-20 minutes of it. It's so fucking boring. Some infinite soldier game or something like that. I forget what it was. But anyway, just to show you what I'm referring to as far as the characters go, the toonish look, and like I said, WoW clone should be just squashed and it just be called an MMO clone, because that's all it is. Different names, more the same. And let's see if this one's under 10 minutes, and if not, it's just going to have to be the next part, and this might be part 2 already. So stay tuned or stay tuned.